Red team, a center forward in his third year, leads the league in rebounds with 17.8 a game, and he's Neil Murphy's role model. Here we go from Bowie, Maryland, Don Firestein. For the white team, a forward in his 13th year, first year in over 30, averaging 14 points a game, fourth in free throw percentage, and averaging almost 14 rebounds a game from College Park, Maryland, Ken Maltz. A guard in his rookie season, averaging 17 points a game. He's got 31 assists, 2 technical fouls from College Park, Maryland, Wes Redd. A center forward in his 13th year, a rookie in the over 30 league, averaging 14 points a game, almost 12 rebounds. Former commissioner, 87 Commissioner Cup Award winner from Brooklyn Heights, Maryland, Bill Love. A guard in his second year, averaging 28 points a game, 51% from the three-point area, 84% from the free throw line from College Park, Maryland, Steve Cuppy. The white team, a guard in his 10th season, 12.6 points a game. In 87, he was both over 30 Player of the Year and Tournament MVP from Burnsville, Maryland, Brooke Greer. A forward in his 12th season, averaging 19 points a game, 11 rebounds a game, 1988 Tournament MVP from Greenbelt, Maryland, Jay McCarl. Tied for first in scoring with 31.8 points per game, 75 three-point shots attempted. He's second in assists from Millersville, Pennsylvania, Kenny Adrian. A center forward in his rookie season over 30, leading in total points, 114, points per game, 19 points a game, shots attempted, 144, blocked shots, 25, from College Park, Maryland, Ron Deerstein. A guard in his 13th season, leading the league in field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and assists, 2-time Player of the Year, Vice President of Men's League from Brooklyn Heights, Maryland, Jim McGinnis. A guard in his 13th season, league leader in total points, three-point percentage, free throw percentage, second in points per game, commissioner for 10 years, from Brooklyn Heights, Maryland, Tom Love. A forward in his rookie season, tied for the league lead in scoring with 31.8 points per game, second in free throw percentage, third in three-point percentage, fifth in rebounds. Recently profiled in the Men's League newsletter from Yonkers, New York, Neil Murphy. A center forward in his 13th year, averaging 12.6 points per game, second in free throw percentage, and averaging 13.3 rebounds per game, has played in every over 30 final since he's been a player. 1988 Player of the Year from Silver Spring, Rich Cameron. Guard in his 7th season, averaging 17 points a game, 80% from the free throw line, from Greenbelt, Maryland, Mike Carter. A guard in his 12th year overall, first year in the over 30, averaging almost 16 points a game, second in assists, from College Park, Maryland, Bob Webster. A guard in his 10th year, averaging 13 points a game, 47% from the three-point line, from Chevy Chase, Maryland, Dave Barrett. A forward in his 7th year overall, second season in the over 30, twice an All-Star, averaging 11.3 points per game, 8 rebounds a game, from College Park, Maryland, Steve Duffy. for the white team from Bowen Heights, Maryland, Brian Moore. The red team's coach, also from Bowen Heights, Maryland, Steve Becker. Before we begin this afternoon's game, I do have a matter that I would like to bring up. Over the weekend, an old friend and neighbor of ours, Hank Arista, passed away. Hank was one of the prime movers in past years in the Boys and Girls Club. He was president of the Boys and Girls Club. Along with a great group of people, he made the Boys and Girls Club what it is today, and also laid the foundation for our men's league. Without people like Hank Arista, I doubt we would have the kind of community that we have. So I would like all of us to spend just a few seconds thinking of Hank's memory and wishing him well. Thank you very much. Let's play ball.
Hey, I'll tell you what,
Right, okay. Well, I'm going to stand. I'll tell you what we'll do. Why don't we, you ready to go? We are. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to announce the starting lineups. First of all, the referees out there will be Steve Lombel and Wesley Redd. Steve from the under 30 league, Wesley from the over 30. Jimmy, would you give us the starting red lineup, please?
at guard, we've got Steve Cuppy from the under 30 and Bob Webster from over 30. The forwards are Ronnie Deerstein and Jimmy Carl. The center is going to be Donnie Firestein.
And for white, we have Neil Murphy jumping center. At forward, looks like Ken Moltz. And I guess Dave Daly, probably McGinnis and Carter at the guards. Tip controlled by Redd. Ron Deerstein taps it out of bounds. White's going to get the ball. Dave Daly will be throwing the ball in. Mike Carter Jr. with the ball. Daly on the wing. Back to Carter. Across to Murphy. Murphy down the lane. Knocked away by Webster. Controlled by Murphy. Carter with the dribble. Thrown away off McGinnis. It'll be red ball. Okay, Cuppy and Webster at the guards. To Deerstein. Firestein at the high post. McCall. Cuppy underneath. Rebound. Knocked out of bounds.
White team.
Go ahead, Jim.
White team's come out in man-to-man defense. Looks like they're going to try to post Cuppy down low on Mike Carter, a little smaller. Let's see how it goes.
And the white team does look a little smaller. They have McGinnis out there being covered. McGinnis covering as Bob Webster from the corner starts out, hits the first shot. Carter will bring the ball up for the white team. And how about defensively for the red, Jim?
Let's see there. White team this red lineup is pretty big across the front.
McGinnis with the miss. Moltz rebounds, knocked away by Cuppy. And the ball's going to stay there. There's no foul. Dave Daly's going to inbounds it to Murphy. Murphy with a move, a little push off, misses the turnaround, rebound Firestein. With the outlet pass to Webster ahead. Nice pass to Stein, can't quite control it. McGinnis picks it up. Jimmy McGinnis with the ball. And here comes Mike Carter pushing the ball. Yeah, it looks like White is going to try and run Murphy from three-point range, I believe. Misses. Moltz with the fighting for the rebound inside. Jay McCall with the push inside. You mentioned size, Jimmy. Does the red team look that much bigger out there to you? I also noticed on the bench, you know, both teams obviously a lot of good ball players, but when you really talk about musclemen, you got Cameron still sitting on the bench for them. Red just looks like a little more powerful, a little more physical than White might seem to be. Moltz with the strong rebound. Turns, tries to shoot, and somebody got a hand in there. Looks like no foul. It looks like it's called out of bounds off White. Webster's going to bring the ball up. Red 2-0 right now in the early going. We are playing 12-minute quarters. Firestein misses.
Not sure what he's doing out there with that one.
good point, Jimmy. You really wonder why do they have a Donnie Firestein out of three-point range, especially with some of the other shooters they have on that team. Daly down the baseline. They lose the ball again. Little sloppy in the early going, Jim. And there's a little miscoordination. Bob Webster picking up his dribble. Nobody in the backcourt to help. And Steve Cuppy with it off his foot. That's going to be a backcourt violation. But we haven't seen a lot of offensive fireworks so far. We did mention in the pregame discussion we had that the shooting averages of these two teams are both over 180 points a game. McGinnis on the wing, back to Murphy up high. Murphy with the dribble, left-handed. Looks back out, he has Carter. Carter back to Murphy. Murphy with the jump shot. In and out, rebound Ron Deerstein, knocked away by Murphy. Daly picks up the loose ball. Murphy knocking that rebound away. Absolutely. But good position and good awareness of the game. We have a official timeout. No foul call.
There's a lot of acreage there that somebody could have hit him.
This is true. Carter with the ball. Cuppy guarding McGinnis all the way across to Murphy, swinging it long. There's Carter. Carter with the jump shot from the top of the key. It's short. Rebound Cuppy. Cuppy with the outlet pass. Nice bounce pass across to Stein. McCall with the pull-up. Very nice play. The red team converting very nicely. Nice passing all around. Cuppy's outlet really got that one going. Bobby Webster with a great pass. Carter to McGinnis. McGinnis pulls up. Stein with the rebound. Stolen away by Daly. And it's knocked off Dave Daly's foot. Steve Cuppy's going to bring the ball in bounds. And we have a substitution for the white team. Jim?
Yeah, B-Love coming in for Ken Holtz. Ken Dillon he's got a cut right on the side of his eye there. I don't know how he got that. Now we'll see how B-Love does it against the Bangers.
Okay, matchups. Now Cuppy's down low. It's interesting to see a guy like that posting up inside.
Well, I think he knows he can take Mike Carter down low. Steve's got great jumping ability. A lot of moves inside or out.
That's the matchup they were looking for, Cuppy down low. However, though, they don't seem to really be clearing out for him. And if they don't get some of those other big guys out of there, Cuppy's going to run into switches and people coming across the block. Makes it 5-2 now in favor of Redd. Redd with the early jump. 7:34 left to play in the first period. Cuppy with a nice touch from the line. Carter brings the ball up. Looks like 2-1-2, Jim?
Yep.
Traveling violation on B-Love. Anything you thought brought that about? Those couple of loose balls that White converted inside, Jimmy?
They were coming in picking up a couple cheap ones. I think they wanted to make sure the big guys were inside.
Bob Webster short from three-point range. McGinnis with the rebound. Clears out to Carter. Carter down the left side. Mike Carter Jr. across to McGinnis. Can't handle it. Dishes off to Daly. Knocked out of bounds. Jay McCall knocking that ball out of bounds. Playing defense. Sure does. They did break out a new ball. It has been played with, just warmed up with. Perhaps it is a little slick. Murphy missing from the baseline. Bob Webster picks up the rebound. Doubles his rebounding stats for the year. Cuppy's still trying to post up, but they've got everybody in the paint. They've got 5 guys looking to post up. They've just got to get somebody out of there. That's thrown away. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he missed that, but Bill Love with that sweet little hand on the hip, holding Donnie down.
They've got 3 guys.
3 guys that the... 3 guys...
all like to work the middle.
Exactly, and they're trying to post up a 4th guy. Now, maybe what they want to do is either bring another guard in and give Cuppy a chance to work in. Now, Ken Adrian was covering Steve Cuppy. Kenny was the substitution that came in. Ahead to Dave Daly. Dave down the left side. Looks to Kenny Adrian. And it looks like another defensive switch again for Redd. Adrian has the ball knocked away by Bob Webster with the reach around. White maintains possession. Adrian will throw it in from the side. Redd with the timeout. 6-2 in the early going for the Red. Jimmy, what's your impression of the first 5 minutes?
I tell you, I don't think we're on the way to that 185-181 score that was predicted by the points.
Sure doesn't look like it. I do think that one of the things that these games do tend to bring out is that while all these guys bring their offensive weapons, they have to really play against defenses that have 5 real good ball players out there, and that really does change the perspective. During the season, every team looks to 1 or 2 guys, but in an all-star game like this, the defense really tends to be a lot tougher. There are 10 hands out there, and they're all playing defense.
One of the problems, some of the guys, over 30 mixed together, they're not used to playing with each other, and it's going to take a while. I think we'll see a lot sharper play as the day goes on.
I believe so.
Plenty of subs, and nobody's going to get tired.
Look, everybody looked a little hesitant in shot selection also, don't you think? I saw a couple of things passed up that I know wouldn't be passed up in normal league play. Tom Love in now for the Red team, and Chris Colson I see also has entered. They're the guards, and Red is zoning. Pass down to Daly inside, rejected. I believe Rich Cameron and John Green. I think Red has just about a brand new ball club out there except for Firestein. John Green rejected by Bill Love. Bill Love getting way up in the air. Now that's something that John doesn't often see. And again, we have another pass thrown away by White. A little too anxious. Murphy open in the corner, but just not expecting it. Okay, White, and it looks like what defensively? Still man-to-man, huh? Kenny Adrian reaching around the back. It's called for the foul. And again, we have another substitution. Brooke Greer now enters the game at 1 guard. So the guards for the White team are Adrian and Brooke Greer. Firestein on the high post. Now that looks a little more conventional.
Yeah.
Cameron misses his shot outside. Greer with the rebound, pushes it up court. It's a 5-on-2, but it's the wrong way. Murphy in the corner. Murphy slows it down, brings it out. Kenny Adrian up top. Very dangerous. Murphy. Now that's going to be tough to defense. Murphy and Adrian on the same side, Jim.
Especially Dillon can take it. Such a big guy for him to shoot from the outside.
Adrian attempts to draw the foul. Love from 3-point range. Passes into Firestein. That was a nice play by Tommy. And that little jump hook by Donnie, so effective. Adrian with the behind-the-back pass. Murphy in and out. Adrian fights for the rebound. Colson comes down with it, pushes it ahead. Knocked away by Adrian. Tommy Love over on the sideline, and I think they're going to call Kenny for that one.
That's the first one. Got a second quick one on it.
White not with a very big team out there now. Especially if Neal plays the outside. He's going to have a tough time contending with Cameron if Cameron does what he should do, which is get down in the paint. Tommy Love, Dave Daly attempting to draw the foul. Tom Love with the running jump shot.
Red team seems to be
Murphy with the fine drive. Neil Murphy taking it right to the hoop. And it's 10-6 now. Adrian with enough pressure back there to cause Colson some problems, trying to pick on a younger player. Cameron down the baseline, forces his way in. B. Love with the rebound, ahead to Murphy. Murphy wants a run. Excellent. Adrian to Murphy. Nice pass to B. Love. Ooh, B a little too strong. Firestein with a powerful rebound. Pass ahead to Love. Love to Cameron underneath. Rich can't convert. Tommy comes in to pick up the loose ball, but can't control it. It'll be white ball. Adrian ahead quick. Murphy from 3-point range is short. Tap by Greer. Rebound, John Green pushes it up. Ahead to Colson, 3-on-2 to John Green. Can't control the pass high across to Firestein. Loses it out of bounds. Again, just a little too excitable. Still 10-6, and here comes the substitution. Joe McGinnis for the White squad.
still a little sluggish out there, missing somebody else.
Brooke Greer with the jump shot, it's short. Colson can't control. It's going to stay here. Chris Colson with the attempt at the rebound. Here comes Adrian again. Over to Brooke, back to Kenny. Kenny with the left-handed dribble to Murphy. Murphy down the baseline, dishes off to McGinnis. McGinnis across. Somebody's got to be in there too long. Yeah, had to be. And they passed up 2 or 3 good shots, Jim. Yeah, I thought Murphy certainly had something. Kenny Adrian drawing the foul. Smart heads up ball play. Chris Colson, rookie this year. Oh, and a pretty play by Adrian. Referee Redd brings it back, and we're going to have a hard time explaining that one because the ball was given, handed over by an official. We didn't know the timeout. Kenny Adrian with the heads-up play, catching Murphy, and naturally Neil Murphy being quick enough and smart enough to break right out. Another backcourt violation. Can you believe this? We are really... Cross-court pass to Cameron. Cameron takes the shot. Murphy with the rebound. Nobody's hitting anything much right now, Jim. Both sides, stone cold. Murphy with the pull-up, bang. Bottom of the hole. Okay, here's Chris Colson. And Chris Colson decides that the better part of valor is discretion. Doesn't bring it up. That's what you want to do. Colson with the wide open jump shot, but it fails to fall. Joe McGinnis with the rebound ahead to Brooke Greer. Brooke off Tom Love's leg. Tommy Love with the defensive play, breaks up the fast break. Neil Murphy will throw it in over to Brooke Greer. Brooke Greer at the top of the key. To Adrian. Adrian at 3-point range. The pass to Murphy. Murphy covered closely by John Green. Green gets up in his face, knocks it out of bounds. White will touch again. White's going to throw it in. Brooke Greer here will throw the inbounds play. I see Ken Moltz re-entering the game for Bill Love. Again, John Green with aggressive defense out there. Murphy in the lane, turnaround jumper. Little long, Cameron has control, back to Murphy. And a pretty play. Joe McGinnis with the screen in there, helped Neil go right to the hoop. Tie score now. White come back and tied it up at 10. There's Chris Colson. To Firestein, that's what they want to do. And if Firestein inside, doesn't look like they can stop him if he gets the ball in the right spot. Kenny Adrian out front. To Moltz. Down low to Joe McGinnis. Joe McGinnis looking for something. And, yeah, 3 seconds again. And again, Jimmy, a case of overpassing. Well, I think that's what they need to do, get it down, because right now you got a lot of big bodies in the lane and nobody's getting much of anything. Chris with an excellent shot. Tom Love with the fake. Joe McGinnis, I wonder what Joe is out there doing. Brooke Greer with the long rebound. He's going to push it up. Moltz is underneath early. There's Adrian down the lane. Nice pass to Moltz. Little long. And that one won't go. Okay, 12-10 at the end of the first quarter, Jimmy. Some observations. Is this going to be 48-40 final?
I don't think so. I think these teams are going to loosen up a little bit. We really haven't seen any transition baskets yet. And I think that's what I'm looking for. I think they can start moving the ball a little quicker up and down the court. It's a small court. It seems like they should be getting a lot up and down. I don't know. Nobody's hitting their shots. It's been ugly so far.
It really has, and I think part of it is not so much selfish ugly as just really trying maybe a little bit too hard ugly. We had 3 3-second calls, all caused by overpass, and the last time McGinnis had a shot, Joe McGinnis, Kenny had a shot, and they wound up passing across to Murphy, and it cost them. Both of them had 6-foot shots, and they're passing them up.
Yeah, I wonder why these guys are being tentative. You don't see that on Sundays.
Well, and the other surprising thing is both teams really seem to be taking the ball or trying to take the ball inside. And they wind up with 8 men in the paint, and nobody's, able to convert anything. I think both teams have the ability to shoot from the outside, and that'll definitely open up the inside game for them.
I'd like to be a fly on the wall and see what Steve Beckman is passing along. They seem to be very inspired.
Okay, lineups for the second half, Jim. Who's out there for White?
For White, for the second quarter, we've got D-Love in center, and Dave Barry, and I guess Dave Daly are going to be outside. This is an offensive team with Adrian and McGinnis and Barry all out there. They're a little small, though, to see who they're matching up with.
I was going to say small but quick. And for Redd, we have Cuppy and Webster at guard, John Green at one forward, Firestein in the middle, and Steve Duffy at the other forward. Webster with the turnaround jump shot. Firestein, powerful rebound, back up, and he's fouled.
B-Love whistle with that. He seems to be pretty unhappy with it.
B-Love doesn't believe that he could have possibly done it, but it seems that he's been convicted and sentenced. Donnie going to the line for two. You played with Donnie and you played against him, Jimmy. What's the strongest part of Donnie's game?
I think he's an excellent passer, and he usually, when he gets the ball in the middle there, or at the high post, he doesn't throw the ball away a lot. Doesn't take bad shots. He's strong. He turns, takes that strong jumper, or else goes right to the basket, or makes a nice pass. He's a very good offensive player. Doesn't have a great outside touch. Inconsistent from the free throw line occasionally.
Obviously. But Donnie does bring a lot of enthusiasm to the game, and he has moves around the basket that are almost impossible to defend against. Now, White certainly looks like they've opened up a little bit. Firestein with the rebound after Adrian's three-point attempt. Here's Cuppy, and now we look like we're seeing maybe a little bit more wide-open basketball. Green from way outside. Firestein gets it knocked away. Green comes up with it. John Green looks inside to Donnie. Across to Cuppy. He's outside the line. Absolutely great pass by Donnie Firestein.
I think we're going to see some fireworks here. Steve Cuppy.
And here, Red team, it looks like a little backcourt pressure, not really serious, but just trying to cause a little confusion. McGinnis posting up low on Cuppy with that running little hook shot across the lane, running one-hander, knocked out of bounds by White. McGinnis with a little backcourt pressure, and here's Adrian. He was successful last quarter. John Green with the turnaround after the fans screamed for a walk. Maybe John got away with a little something. Adrian with the pull-up. Can't stop that, can you, Jim?
Here we go. He's got the quickness. He can take that jumper.
Okay, now we saw Kenny Adrian trying to throw the charge last time. John Green with the long jump shot. Bang, he hits it. That's just two, though. And so now Red moves ahead by 7, 19-12. Here comes Kenny Adrian. Left-handed dribble. Across. Jimmy Mack can't get it to fall. David Berry with the rebound, and he's going to get fouled. David with the opportunistic rebound. White banging it around, or Red banging it around a little bit. David picked it up and went across the lane. Smart thing, going to the basket. Now, here's a guy that has a touch from the line. Jim Mack looks like he's getting serious. He just spit on his hands and wiped them on his shorts. A trademark move, if I've ever seen one. David converts the second half. And here, a little pressure, and Red brings it up nicely across to Donnie. Back out to Cuppy. Cuppy around Jimmy Mack. Dave Daly trying to jump in, but to no avail. Dave clearly picking up the foul, looking for some sympathy. Shows his social security card, declares his age, but the referees say, "I'm sorry, Dave." When he realizes that these guys have no heart, he smiles and takes a spot at the line. Cuppy, then he'll shoot too. Here's a guy with a great shooting touch. How do you stop Steve Cuppy, Jimmy?
I think you got to try to deny him the ball, make him work hard for whatever. He's going to get his points, but you got to make him work hard for everything.
Steve with nothing but net on both of them. No pressure from Red this time now. 21-13 by Red, still zone. McGinnis across, looking for somebody inside. David Berry, it's a two-pointer. Below, can't control. Knocked out by Steve Duffy. Red will maintain possession. Adrian across to McGinnis, and Jimmy Mack gets it to fall.
Got McGinnis the open jumper.
And that's the key with John Green with short, Steve Duffy with the fake back up, misses, Adrian rebounds. And a long pass partially blocked. They had David Berry open down the left side, but I'm not sure somebody on Red got a hand up. Webster to Firestein. John Green with the turnaround. John Green, a lot of jumping ability, tough to stop. He likes those one-on-one moves where he just gets right up to you, chest to chest, and just takes it up.
He's got that quickness just like Cuppy, and really coming into his own this year, playing ball.
John Green at the line. He's going to shoot 2. First one looks good. And he makes the ball 23-15. And White in danger here of having too much daylight open up. McGinnis down the lane quickly, back out to Bill Love. Love with the jump shot. I tell you, they can't afford to do that. Bill is really the only guy with substantial size out there for a pretty pass by Bob Webster. Donnie can't convert, but Cuppy's right there. Rebound David Berry, and here they go. McGinnis can't handle it. Webster with the steal. Looks back over to Cuppy. The court spread out now. Steve Cuppy down the lane, pulls up. Maybe a step over there to Donnie. Donnie with the ball, back over to John Green. Green with the running jump shot, misses. Daly pulls it away from Steve Duffy. Here comes Kenny Adrian. 3 on 2. Oh, and Donnie with the kick to block that shot. Yeah, they had a 3 on 2. It looked like they should get something fairly easily. Berry inbounds to Neil Murphy in 3-point range. Adrian from outside the line. He's long. Ken Moltz fights in there for the rebound, knocks it away, and it's going to be red ball. Cuppy and Webster still at the guards. We have Duffy, Firestein, and Green on the front line. For White, we have Moltz and Murphy, McGinnis, David Berry. Jump shot by Duffy is short. Adrian with the rebound, 23-15 Red. Adrian pushes it up left-handed, down the lane. Pretty move, looking for the pass to Moltz, and he gets fouled coming across. And I'm not certain what the call was. They did call offensive against, I guess Kenny Moltz did, but that's a real tough one because Kenny was really going away from the basket when he put that shot up in the air. Okay, Cuppy with the ball. Cuppy with the ball, down in the baseline to Webster. Webster with the jumper. Bobby Webster buries it. 10 points, Jimmy. It's double-digit lead for Red, and White doesn't seem to be making any changes. They're going to have to get something good. They've got lots of shooters. Webster with the screen, screened out by Bill Love. But they're really dependent entirely on their shots, on their shooting. They're just not going to get second shots with that lineup. Cuppy with the shot. Murphy with the rebound. Here goes Neil Murphy running the break. Webster behind him looking for the ball. Over to David Berry. Why didn't David Berry take that shot? Over to Bill Love. Love misses. Firestein with the rebound. Now that's got to be David's shot. Off the transition break, a little 12-footer. He's got to put that one up. Cuppy with the fadeaway jump shot, almost impossible shot. Berry with the rebound. Here goes White again. The fans scream for a carrying call, but to no avail. McGinnis down the lane, that's a tough one to stop. Boom. He's made that one a trademark, hasn't he, Jimmy? Well, you know, he puts the shoulder in your chest, his elbow in your side. Webster with the long jumper, partially blocked, I believe. David Berry with the ball. Adrian pushing up, and this is what White has to do, is run it. Down low to Murphy, nice play. White, all of a sudden, they're back in this game. It's a 4-point game. They went from 10 down to 4, so they've run 6 straight. Donnie Firestein now bringing the ball up for him. Over to Cuppy. Red's gonna slow it down. They want to look at this a little more, and that's a smart move for them, I think. To Firestein, Adrian with a hand in there. Duffy can't turn around and do much. It's loose on the ground. Who comes up with it?
Don Firestein.
Well, they say rebounding and loose balls is who wants it the most. And Donnie comes up. Kenny, you can't leave him alone. Got to keep a hand in his face. Adrian for 3.
This is more the game we expected in the second quarter. They're starting to use it up and just
Absolutely, Jimmy, and I think we probably still are a little hesitant, and I think you can see that gradual loosening up. I think also the point you made is that a lot of these guys don't play together very often, and there is a feeling out process. Who feels comfortable at guard, who feels comfortable at forward, who's going to cut or pick or whatever. And I think that maybe there's a little more comfort out there. The comfort zone is being reached where these guys feel that they can do things instinctively instead of thinking about them. And I do think we're going to see a much more competitive game as the game goes on, and certainly a better played game.
Another problem I think with these guys is you've got got 10 guys on each side. They're doing a lot of substituting. And if you're not used to playing with people and you keep rotating, then you don't really get a sense of who's going to do what. Once you have to leave a lineup in there for a little bit, let them develop and get used to each other.
Absolutely, because unlike the NBA where centers are centers and forwards are forwards, in this league you tend to adapt your abilities to the team you're on, and a lot of guys are playing center that should be playing forward and forward that should be playing guard or vice versa. And so when a guy comes out and has an opportunity to play his true position, he's somewhat a little uncomfortable with it because he doesn't play it all year. Stein all alone, somebody missed an assignment. White came out in man-to-man. Ron Deerstein was all alone under the basket. But by the time they got it to him, Murphy, pretty pass to Brooke Rear. Brooke Rear wide open in the middle. 1 point game now. We see Rich Cameron and Chris Colson out there. White playing man-to-man here. Murphy on Deerstein. Cameron down low. Rich, little too soft. Rebound McGinnis. Murphy pushes it up. Murphy down the lane, looks for Greer in the corner. David Berry takes a step back and buries it. Boy, he knew where he was.
Look down, take a step back, and then still drain it.
Despite being an out-of-towner from Chevy Chase, David still has enough playing time on this court to know where he's at. Redd throws it away. They look a little disorganized, and this game's turning around. White now. Murphy down the lane with a pretty move, and how do you stop that? Perfectly defensed in his hand. Neal just reached around him and shot. Nice defense by Redd, but just not enough. McCall out there now. I think this is Jay's first appearance, or first in a while. Jay with the turnaround jump shot doesn't go. Rebound, Cuppy bumps him off. Nice move by Cup. Brooke Rear with the rebound. Saved by McCall, no not. He just stepped on the line. You saw Steve Cuppy give that little bump move to Brooke Rear, give himself some shooting room.
And then he does that jumper, following jumper. You're not going to stop, you just got to.
So smooth. Now, last time down, they let Adrian just put one up from three-point range. They won't make that mistake again. Man-to-man by Redd. Joe McGinnis with a nice turnaround move. And there's a guy that's come a long way in a couple of years, Jimmy. Joe, very comfortable out there, being guarded by Rich Cameron, doing a nice job. McCall with the ball to Ron Deerstein. Stein with the turnaround jump shot. He buries it off the glass. And that is Stein's move. Cuppy with some backcourt pressure. Man-to-man for Redd, Jimmy. Which matchup would you like? David Berry, array. Same spot, almost exactly. He did.
Halftime in the finals of the three-point shot competition. He's getting his practice.
Didn't even have to look at his feet that time. He knew where he was. Cuppy with the ball. Oh, pretty backdoor pass to Colson down the lane. Little behind him. Colson right back. Nice play, Chris Colson. Hustle play. Cuppy buries it. And the pace is picking up. Is there a matchup out there you'd like to attack, Jimmy? On Redd's man-to-man. Now, it looked like Redd just went back to zone. I think B is trying some kind of crazy defense here, or at least a version of LSU's maniac defense there, where they're switching on some signal. Cuppy and Adrian here now, White man-to-man. Stein covered by Murphy with the turnaround. Misses that time. Brooke Rear with the rebound. Brooke pushes it up. Back out to David Berry to Kenny Adrian. Kenny's going to make him think. Yeah, Redd back in the 2-1-2 zone now. Greer open. He misses. Cameron with the rebound. Rich Cameron bangs one home. Here comes Cuppy. Lead pass to Colson. He had Colson and Stein. Nice play by Colson to get that one off. Berry with the rebound. Here comes Brooke Rear ahead to Murphy. Murphy with the fake across the lane. Misses. Adrian with the follow. Good hustle play by Kenny Adrian. Ties it up 31-31. We are right where we started here, Jimmy. All even. Cuppy and Adrian. You notice Kenny's not going to... Oh, McCall with the turnaround gets wrapped. You notice Kenny Adrian does not try and draw the charge against Steve Cuppy.
No, I think he knows he's got a couple fouls, and there's no use trying to pick up another one on something like that. With Cuppy, you just got to, you try to deny him the ball a little bit, try to keep him out of the offense. If he gets the ball and he's got the quick move, he's going to be able to hurt you. So you try to get him out of the offense, let him go to somebody else.
Substitutions for White now. We have Moltz re-entering the game. We also have Dave Daly and Mike Carter Jr. now out there. Mike Carter Jr. appearing at guard.
Dave Barry looking a little winded over there.
Well, that long drive in from Chevy Chase every day does take a lot out of you, that transfer, you know.
I guess that's the
commuting.
That's the cost of moving upscale like that.
That's right.
He wants that zip code address, and he's paying for it now.
Okay, Adrian brings it up now. Adrian with the ball against Puppy. No! I personally did not like that shot. Cuppy missed him by a half a step, but Kenny had to take that left-handed jump shot on the wrong side of the floor. McCall with a nice move. He got Murphy up in the air. Very nice move by Jay. Got Neal up in the air.
Jay really works that pump fake as well as anybody. He'll pump 2 or 3 times and then take it up. Doesn't seem to hurt his jumper either. A lot of times, a guy that fakes too much, you get out of the rhythm and you can't hit the shot, but he can do it.
Kenny Moltz tears that one away, and Adrian Murphy to pick it up. Kenny with a strong game under the boards. Here comes Kenny Adrian again. Still covered by Cuppy. There's the screen. Boom. Oh, there's Rich Cameron over the back. Sure is. B.A. Moore had his cut man close that gash over Kenny's eye during the Freddie Pacheco or somebody was out there with the, that's right. Got that 1-inch slash shut down, and Kenny's right back in, slight amount of swelling. Might not look so good for the team picture afterwards. To Murphy in the lane, that's got to be 3, I think, first game. Ooh, Neal was in there a long time. And he was. But again, maybe one pass too many. I think they could have got that jump shot off the pass before that. Neal's going to get 2 in the game. But he is so smooth looking out there that that it just really, he can make a foul happen even if it's not there sometimes. And that is naturally part of being a good ball player. Sure does. Sure does. Ron Deerstein with a long-range bomber. Doesn't get the bounce. Mike Carter Jr. almost had that rebound. Quite control it. We have another substitution here. Tom Lombel enters the game. Bob Webster from 3-point range. He's short. Stein keeps it in. Kenny Moltz comes up with the loose ball. Ahead to Murphy. White's going to set something up now. A little more patient. Carter brings the ball up. Daly with the screen. Murphy from 3-point range. He's long. Moltz with the power rebound. He gets it up and in over Ronnie Deerstein. He sure is. Blue-collar ball player, but a great guy to play with. Tom Love out there in 3-point range. Jay McCall at the top of the key. Firestein down low. Can't be stopped. Donnie with the reverse bank. Will Chamberlain made that shot for you folks. Pressure in the backcourt by Bobby Webster. Doesn't come up with it though, and they're going to call him for the foul. One guy that seems to get quicker every year. You know, most guys lose a half a step, and it just seems, I don't know, maybe he's just anticipating moves better, but he sure seems even quicker this year than he was in the past. Looks like he's 29. Might get the line. Drops that first one for a nice shot. John Green's going to enter now, and he's going to replace Ron Deerstein. Stein lets him know his defensive assignment. Mike is short with that one. Murphy taps it back out. Jim McGinnis has the ball. White gets another go. Moltz down the lane, looks inside. Can't get it to Murphy. Again, maybe forcing that one just a little too much. Tommy Love with the ball over to McCall. McCall goes in, spins, back out to John Green. Green just lets it go out of bounds. 12 seconds, and I don't think that was a good move. If John Green picks it up, it's back court, and they start at half court. Here they start under the hoop. Maybe he's going to save him a couple of seconds, but 12, I guess they're going to get something off no matter what. And they're going to get Daly in the middle. Daly with the fake. Daly with the little left-handed, right-handed jump shot move. Firestein can't control it. He gets it off, and there isn't a call. Donnie with an... He's down on the ground. I think his feelings are hurt worse than anything else. How about we take a quick break here, folks? We'll come back with our first half analysis in just a moment. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are right now having the finals of the three-point shooting contest. That's Mike McGinnis out there, what you see. But with us here, with myself and Jim Weisgerber, is B.A. Moore, the coach of the White Squad. B.A., you guys were behind by 8 points early, and you have a 14-point halftime lead. Anything special that you did?
I drafted guys with cute nicknames. That's always been my philosophy in these All-Star games. Take David, my name's not Marion Barry, having a great first half here. And Ken, quick trigger Adrian, and right on down the line, Ed.
Well, I tell you that you had, Jimmy, you mentioned at one point where they had a real small team out there, or I wouldn't say a real small team, but it didn't look like it was a big rebounding team, and they really made a run. As far as, you just seem to have a quicker team out there. Had David Berry, Kenny Adrian, I believe, Jimmy McGinnis.
Well, I tell you, in my opinion, Beckham lost this thing at the draft. He doesn't have a point guard on his team. They can say all they want about Cuppy being a point guard, but he's not. He's a shooting guard. We have Mike Carter and Kenny Adrian, I think, two of the best point people in the league on the one squad, and I think that's the main difference in my mind.
Jim, any questions?
Well, I want to know that was your strategy in drafting was.
Yeah. Well, the fact that we got a team that I have two teams of 5 out there, believe it or not. Each player, when they go into the game, they are rotating with the same guy, so you have a continuity in your man-to-man defense. The other guy is sitting on the bench watching the other player cover the guy, so when he goes in the game, he knows who he's covering, and he knows what's transpired since the last time he was in the ball game.
That's an impressive strategy.
Well, I would like to make one comment that I will be walking right off the bench at the end of the game to voice my opposition to Proposition 45, which, as you well know, says that coaches cannot drink Colt 45 on the bench during the game. Yeah,
you certainly have the sentiments of this announcing crew behind you, B.A.
Well, in prior years, you either had to walk a straight line or you had to pass a breathalyzer test.
Yeah,
now you got to pass both.
Hiding behind the old coffee cup with the foamy head just doesn't work. Certainly this crew is certainly behind you. Let me ask you, you did have Kenny Adrian doing a little pressure defense in the backcourt, but it was only against certain people. He would seem to come up or not come up. Did you guys have anything special planned on that, or?
Well, I tell you, if I might say, I didn't start Kenny Adrian. And the reason was he has a propensity to shoot quite a bit and take over a ball game, like you mentioned, defensively.
Very observant of you. The shooting part especially, B.A.
I figured, get the other 9 players involved in the game, then put Kenny in. First, you got 2 things going for you. Everybody else has touched the ball, and also Kenny's mad as hell at you because he hasn't gotten the game, and he's going to play a lot better.
Well, he certainly did bang home a couple of big ones. He certainly did. Do you anticipate Redd doing anything different in the second half, or are you?
In all sincerity, I predict a blowout by the white team in the second half. I think that we got off to a slow start, but now we're all fired up, and you're really going to see the firepower take charge here. And I think at one time in the second half, we'll probably be up by as much as 25 points.
Well, to be honest with you, we sort of lost touch in the scoring booth here, or in the announcing booth. We really didn't think you. We looked up there, and all of a sudden you had a 10-point lead. Was there any one thing that you might have done to stretch it out like that?
At one point, I had Adrian, David Berry, and Neil Murphy in the game at the same time, and one of them always had an open shot, and their percentages are just too high not to do well when you have that going for you.
When those guys ran that zone at you for a while, I think that was you hit the ball real well, and those guys were just hitting those outside shots.
A zone isn't going to work in an all-star game, not if you have a team concept going, because, like you say, if you keep moving the ball around, you know, an open shot's an open shot for these guys. They can handle it, no problem.
And you had, like you say, you had your three-point bombers out there. That's an interesting thing. I'm not sure what the three-point numbers are, but I'm not sure how many Redd has, if they have any. But I know you guys have at least 3 and maybe 4, which certainly makes a difference. Jimmy, right now, would you have a selection as to who you think might be player of the game? Certainly something that we always, there's a lot of discussion about.
Well, I think it's a little early for that kind of. I'd like to see how they go. There's been so much stuff. I think I'd like to see. Donnie Firestar's been playing pretty well. White team up by 14. You got to look at Murphy.
Okay, BA, I know you want to get over with your squad. Good luck in the second half, and we thank you. We'll be talking to you after the game.
Thanks again.
Thanks again, BA. We do have an announcement, the finals of the three-point competition. Neil Murphy going 8 for 10 after going 7 for 10 in the first round. So Neil Murphy's the official winner. We will come up with final percentages after the ball game. We're about ready to start the second half. Jim, if you were the Redd coach, we asked BA, he didn't think that there was anything Steve Beckham could do to rouse his troops. If you were the Redd coach, what would you be saying to those guys on the bench?
Well, I tell you, I'd be looking to pound it, work around your man in the middle, Donnie Firestar. I'm a strong believer in that. You have to get the ball in your center's hands, let him work inside a little bit, and let him pass to the outside. Maybe I think the Redd team should get a little transition going if they can get it, depending on what squad they get. They're coming out with a little bit of a slower squad.
Well, BA mentioned one thing that I didn't want to disagree with him because BA has been known to be violent, but he said they didn't have a true point guard, and I will give you that Cuppy is a shooting guard, Colson's a shooting guard, certainly Green isn't a point guard, but Bobby Webster, in my estimation, really is a point guard. I think Bobby's shown it. Now I mentioned he has hit at least one three-pointer. I think he moves the ball very well for them outside. I think that maybe what they have to do is, what I saw early anyway, is when they did try and post somebody like Cuppy or John Green up down low, they've got to get everybody else out of there. Or they've got to get those guys out of there and let Firestein get some room to operate.
You have to decide what you're doing for your offense. You're either moving the ball, having a lot of cutters come through, or you're going to let somebody isolate underneath. And if you're going to let them isolate underneath, you have to isolate them.
Man-to-man for White, against White, excuse me. Murphy gets the ball on the high post down the left side, turns and shoots. I think that foul's going against Donnie Firestein. And Redd now with a small lineup out there. Naturally Donnie in the middle, but they've got John Green and Steve Duffy at the forwards. Murphy converts the three-point play and just stretches it out, 52-35. Remember, BA said he'd have a 20-point lead sometime this half. Man-to-man for White. Love and Webster at the guards. Green goes to the hole, and the foul's on Neil Murphy. White's in man-to-man, Jimmy. You think that's their most effective defense?
I think so. It seemed to work for them in the first round. I'd like to see how these guys do. They're John Green, nice quick bucket. I still think you can move around the center, though. Get the ball, touch the ball.
Good point. You know,
Transition game. You have to go with that.
and there are times, no matter how well-disciplined your team is, unless you make that conscious effort. Firestein with the big rebound. Duffy controls. He pump fakes, turns, shoots, misses. McGinnis with the rebound, and they're going to push it up. McGinnis with Carter on the right side. Pretty pass gets knocked away, though. Steve Duffy hustling back. Knocks it away from Dave Daly. Dave is going to throw the ball in. White ball underneath. 52-36 in favor of White. That's a 16-point edge. Murphy with the ball, guarded by John Green. Carter with the ball. Carter gets around Webster. Bobby reaches in behind. And Mike sort of had run into Steve Duffy, I guess, was stuck in place by Webster coming up behind, draws the foul. Kenny Moltz passes inside to McGinnis. Now there's a matchup that I think that White can really make some hay with. I just can't see Tom effectively stopping Jim McGinnis. And again, now but now Donnie is isolating, comes across to help, but his man Kenny was open, and Donnie Firestein with a strong rebound, gets whacked a couple of times, no call. Redd pushes it up. Here's Bobby Webster to Tommy Love. Tom Love running one-hander off the side of the backboard. McGinnis with the rebound. Steve Duffy tries to knock it away, no, unsuccessfully. McGinnis pushes it up, down the lane, into a crowd. Bodies on the floor. Bobby Webster draws the charge. Excellent ball.
Good play by Bob Webster, drawing the charge. McGinnis comes down there with this, both barrels loaded.
Well, I tell you, and there's a good play because Jimmy is not Bob's man. He knows his style. He knows once he puts the ball down and lowers that shoulder which way he's going. John Green tries to bump his way in there. Outside, and another backcourt violation. Yeah, it was an excellent call. A difficult call to make is Neil Murphy gets it knocked away. Kenny Moats with the jump shot. Daly, pump fake, puts it up and in.
Another master of the pump fake, Dave Dillon.
Yeah, got Donnie up in the air. Donnie didn't have much choice, and I think they're going to have to substitute. That's got to be 3 or 4 on Donnie. No, but they're not. They're substituting, but it's not for Don Firestein. Was the foul on Donnie, Jim? Maybe I missed that. It may not have been against him. If it was, he's got some problems foul-wise. BA's prediction. That's right. Rebound, John Green on the miss. Puppy runs it up across the green. Green down the lane. Yeah. And another offensive foul. And I think, though, Jim, this is the kind of thing we talked about earlier, where the defense is really a whole step above the offense in this game that we normally see. You know, in regular men's league play, you're going to see 1 or 2 guys out there looking to draw the charge. I think almost everybody out here was willing. Here's Mike Carter Jr. bringing it up against mild pressure. Cuppy in there now, defending against McGinnis. Long shot, Duffy with the rebound. Duffy across the Firestein. Donnie bringing it up over to Cuppy. Cuppy passes to McCall with the fake. Jay across, jump, passes inside to Cuppy. He pushes it up through Jim McGinnis's hands. There's a foul. Cuppy goes to the line for 2.
This is the team I think to rank this squad the right now. They make a move here with Donnie and Jay and Steve Cuppy.
Mm-hmm.
These guys play well together. See if they can the ball around.
Steve bangs the first one down. Substitutions now for White. David Berry and Brooke Greer replace McGinnis and Murphy. Another substitution. Joe McGinnis enters now. Redd with backcourt pressure now. Brooke Greer wrapped by Bob Webster right away. Yeah, I'm sure our microphone picked that up. Yeah, they're in the bonus already. Well, I think Redd is going to force him to the line.
Two and a half minutes and they're already in the bonus.
Well, I think Redd decided that if they were going to get into this game, they were going to have to be aggressive, both offensively and defensively. We've had a couple of offensive fouls called, but also we've seen them come out and they're putting at least mild pressure in the backcourt, and probably they'll go to something a little more extensive. They've got bench strength, so they're going to play everybody. Greer with the miss. Oh, yes, and there's a travel. No shot. Yeah.
Joe McGinnis,
they got a possession.
Joe McGinnis flashing that.
Knocked away. David Berry comes up with the loose ball. Here's Brooke Greer, brings it up over half court. Mike Carter over to David Berry. A 3-point attempt. Doesn't go. Firestein rebounds ahead to McCall. Carter behind him. Mike Carter. Boy, you could see that coming, couldn't you, Jimmy? Because Jay was going to cause some problems. He was going to... Ron Deerstein cans it. 14-point lead now, and Redd with pressure. Cuppy on Carter. Firestein on Moltz. McCall on David Berry. Tommy Love on Brooke Greer. Inside to David Berry. Oh, a nice play. Jay had all the ball on that one, and David hung
Tough shot by him.
Very tough shot. Steve Cuppy pushes it up between the leg dribble, looking for somebody. He has Jay McCall out top. McCall with 2 dribbles. Across to Stein, fall away jump shot. Stein hustles in there, keeps the ball alive, but Berry comes up with it. Here comes Brooke Greer, brings the ball up. Tommy Love playing defense. David Berry with the screen. Brooke Greer bounce pass to Joe McGinnis. McGinnis back to Greer. Greer to David Berry up high. David Berry slows it down, spreads him out again. Brooke Greer, jump shot from the free throw line. Yes. They screened Tom Lombel down in the corner, and Brooke was wide open for that one. Cuppy with the lead pass to Firestein, knocked away by Kenny Moltz. And here's B. Love for his first appearance in the second half. 58-40. White keeps it at 18. Another substitution. Chris Colson coming in now. Colson replaces Donnie Firestein. And Cuppy throws the ball inbounds. Inbounds to Ron Deerstein. Stein looking for somebody. McCall with the turnaround across the lane. And he doesn't get the roll. Cuppy rebounds, follows, puts it in. Good board work by Steve Cuppy getting in there. Mike Carter brings it up, pushes the ball up court, brings it back out, says, let's get something that we like. Greer with the screen. There's the switch. Love on Carter now. McGinnis coming across. Turnaround. Joe McGinnis twice with that turnaround jump shot down the left side.
White team real well for the ball.
McCall comes in, bumps off. Now there's Jay again with that little bump, puts his chest into the defender, pushes him back a half a step and fades away. Can't be stopped, plus he gets the foul. And Jay completes the 3-point play. It's a 15-point game. McGinnis to Greer, and Brooke Greer's pushing it up. Tommy Love was down on the floor for a moment. David Berry over to Joe McGinnis. Joe again. Ron Deerstein got a piece of that one, though. Carter with the rebound. Goes in. Carter, woo! Reaching up and around Chris Colson. Pretty play. Tom Love brings the ball up. Brooke Greer, man-to-man defense for White. Deerstein with the turnaround. It's long, knocked out of bounds. Ball knocked out of bounds. Inside to Deerstein. Colson with the ball. Across the lane with the running jump. Stein over the back, knocks it loose. David Berry comes up with the loose ball, can't control. Over to Joe McGinnis. Joe ahead to Mike Carter. Red still man-to-man. Cuppy on Carter. D. Love in the corner. Looking for McGinnis across, can't control. Stein with the loose ball. Deerstein to Colson. Colson to Cuppy. Cuppy from 3-point range. McCall fights McGinnis. McGinnis controls. Carter ahead. Just Tommy Love to stop him. Tommy gets a hand in there, but he gets too much. Gets his excellent foul. Sure would have been.
Although Mike's shooting about 85% from the line. Yeah.
Red's trying to force
He kept away.
action.
He definitely didn't let him make that 3-point shot.
That's right. Red trying to force the action here. White still. Mike Carter bangs the first one in. Kenny Moltz enters the game, re-enters the game, and B. Love sits down after just a couple of minutes stint out there. Is B in foul trouble, you know?
Now, well, B's getting older. And, I don't think he's in foul trouble. I don't know. He's not happy with that either.
McCall with the rebound. Cuppy gets the ball, pushing it ahead. Takes Carter down the baseline. Outside to Colson. Colson wide open for the 3-point attempt. Cameron with the long rebound. They bring it back out. Cuppy's out there. Looks for McCall. McCall across the lane. Turnaround. It's long. Cameron with another rebound. Cameron with the jump shot. He misses down the middle. Carter with the rebound, and Mike Carter's gonna keep on going. Pass to Berry. Little too high, looking for Joe McGinnis across. David throws it away. It's gonna be red ball. Still stuck at 18, 5:40 to play. Jimmy, this is a long 7 minutes. A lot has happened in this third period.
The red team just can't break through that 15-point, 17-point barrier. They're still down. They can't really get that offense really going. Ken Adrian over there taking off his short shirt.
The tempo was certainly picked up, though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you see the red team looking at taking outside three-point shots and trying to get back. A lot of transition.
They seem to be stuck, though, like you mentioned, right around 16 or 18. It seems when they put a big lineup in, they can control the boards, they can play a little better defense, but they can't run the ball as quickly. When they put their smaller lineup in, they have some problems underneath. Certainly, Cuppy's trying to push the ball up, Colson also, but Rich Cameron really doing a big job on the boards for them, but they just can't seem to convert at both ends.
White team coming out with a strong 5.
Okay, new lineup, almost entirely new lineup for White. Berry and Adrian at guard now. Murphy is also in, I guess, at one of the forwards. Moltz at the other forwards, and B. Love now. Man-to-man here. Murphy against Colson. McCall covered by Moltz. Kenny follows him to the baseline. Jay forces that one up. B. Love with the rebound to Adrian, and now White's going to run. They don't want to slow it down. Back into Adrian to Moltz down the lane. That's going to be an interesting call.
They got Kenny with a walk-on. Adrian hit him with a tough pass right now.
Yeah, too many bodies around. Kenny really had no chance to get the ball up over his waist. Colson with the bounce pass to Cameron. Back across to Cuppy. Cuppy with the pretty move down the lane. Steve Cuppy there. That's what they want to do. Murphy with the ball, left-handed dribble, jump shot over McCall. Same kind of move Jay uses, maybe not giving his back to the basket as much, but turn around with a little bump over to Duffy. Steve looking for some help. Out to Colson. Colson back to Duffy. Steve with the jump shot, doesn't go. Rebound control by Redd, shouldn't save that one. David Berry violating rule number 2 of a 10-year-old basketball clinic. Never throw the ball in under your own hoop unless you know who you're throwing it to. He loves it.
Three opposing players with their lips wet, waiting to get that.
McCall at the high post, turns around on Moltz, dribbles down to the baseline. Colson looking for somebody. Cuppy inside. Cuppy, nice move down. Draws the foul. Sure was. And Steve is so tough around there because he can shoot with either hand. You really just don't know which way he's going until he gets up in the air. And as good a free throw shooter as he is, it's just about equivalent to 2. There's one. Unbelievable shooting.
Very tough.
Nice pass into Kenny Moltz. Steve Duffy doing the only thing he could possibly do, and that's foul. Any surprises there in that three-point shooting, Jimmy?
Well, Dave Berry, for as hot as he was in the first half from three-point lines, he had 1 for 10 from three-point. So,
And how did Mike McGinnis get into the top 4?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you, he's got a nice looking shot from the outside.
Mike has been known to send up a couple from long range, that's for sure. Ken Moltz having a little trouble at the line here. He drops the second one. Back to 17. Here's Colson ahead to Duffy. Steve Duffy on the run. Goes underneath, looks for something, back out to Rich Cameron. Cameron with the jumper. That makes it 15. And now here's the point where Redd's stuck. Now can Redd turn his possession into something? Screen by B. Love, picks off Steve Cuppy. Cameron with the defense, takes it away from Jimmy Mack. Ahead to Firestein. Cuppy on the break to Colson, pulls up, nice pass inside, They fouled Chris Colson before he had a chance to get credit for that assist, but that was a real pretty bounce pass. And he got Donnie right where he wanted him, right in the lane. Colson, a good free throw shooter. Rookie this year, but really proving a fine ball player. Gets the roll. Another substitution. Joe McGinnis enters for B. Love. And Ron Deerstein now for Redd. They counter with Deerstein for Cameron. 14-point game now. And I'm sure that Redd would like to have it under 10 before they start the fourth quarter. And that makes 13. Here's pressure. Colson in the backcourt now. You remember in the first half, Kenny gave him some backcourt pressure. Reaching foul out front.
I don't think Kenny Adrian at the line should go anymore.
And that's not the guy you want to send.
No, certainly not.
If this thing gets into one of these, if this game gets into a situation, Jim, where you have to foul some people, who would be some of the people you wouldn't want to put on the line?
Well, I wouldn't want to put Adrian on the line. I wouldn't want to put Jim McGinnis on the line, certainly, or Murphy. I think if I were going to foul the white team, I'm looking over on the, let's see, B. Love comes to mind. So I'd really lay the flesh on. And maybe Ken Maltz. He's a good shooter, but sometimes
a lot of these guys tend to be, I think everybody tends to be a little streaky at the line, and if you get a guy to miss one, I think it really does tend to upset your concentration. There aren't a lot of guys that...
The best chance for the red team would be to get me into the game as white and foul.
McGinnis with the rebound on that Steve Duffy miss. Ahead to Kenny Adrian, can't control.
We'll get it.
Okay, Cuppy to Duffy. Steve with a little too much on that shot, but comes right back hustling to knock it away. Okay, White's going to bring it in to Murphy. Redd now trying to pick up at half court at least, and some pressure even in the forecourt. Maltz backs in, rejected by Ron Deerstein. Stein ahead to Cuppy. Cuppy down the lane to Green. John Green goes up. Never did get it off. They called Jim McGinnis with the body from behind. Yeah, no question that White sees that matchup, Duffy and Maltz, and they want to go to it. John Green makes the first one. It's 14 again. Substitution, that last foul called on McGinnis. I'm not sure what Jimmy's free throw foul situation is. 14-point game, 70-56 for White. John Green makes the second, 70-57. This is 13. This is about as low as it's been since the really, I guess, early in the second quarter, yeah. Adrian from three-point range, never hesitates. Controlled by Firestein. John Green kicked out away from Kenny Maltz. Love is going to bring it up. He's covered by Brooke Greer. Neil Murphy tries for the steal. He misses. John Green with the pump jump. Maltz with the rebound. Stein had a hand in there but couldn't control. Brooke Greer brings it up now. Knocked away by Tommy Love. Kenny Adrian comes up with it. Brooks loose, and Kenny finds him. That's John Green with the rebound, excuse me. Cuppy pushes it ahead to Firestein. Brooke Greer knocks it away. And it's going to... Very good. And John Green can't control underneath. Donnie Firestein throwing the ball in. Gets it to Cuppy. Cuppy loses it inside. Boy, that's a masterful piece of ball control, isn't it, Jimmy? Knocked on the ground, 3-4 different people's hands on it. Cuppy still comes up with it and does graceful one dribble turnaround.
Got an 11-point game here. Redd trying to creep back in.
Does White seem to be forcing a little bit? I know it's hard to make a case for one shot, but that's not the shot that Neil Murphy was taking in the first half, is it?
Yeah, it seems like they got a little complacent there once they got the lead. They're not really, they don't seem to be moving as well without the ball. They're kind of just seeing what happens, let the guy take the jumper.
There's an awful lot of bodies around there for Neil to still be dribbling, even though he did have a screen. He clearly was not going to get something contested. But again, this is a guy that you certainly don't want to send to the free throw line.
Yeah, we can say what we want. They still got 2 points out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, Steve Cuppy with the ball to John Green. Over to Tom Love. Deerstein on the free throw line to Cuppy. To Firestein. To Love. Love from three-point range, maybe. Tommy Love. I thought Wesley was going to stop the game to present him a bronze basketball after that shot, but no, the net just didn't come down. Okay, Adrian with the ball. Cuppy man-to-man. Brooke Greer. Brooke down. Oh, back door. They missed that one. Okay, Wesley with a call, an illegal screen away from the ball, I think, on Dave Daly.
I think it might have been Kenny Adrian. Looked like he was running the counter tray there, kind of clearing out.
Well, against that tenacious man-to-man defense, naturally, you do want to set those screens, and you want to set them hard. But I guess referee Redd just felt that one was a little too aggressive, and they're going to send Donnie Firestein to the line. Steve Beckham suggesting his player concentrate perhaps a bit. And Don, once again, the popular favorite of the crowd, elicits a big response. No matter what he does, people love it. Neil Murphy with the jump shot. John Green knocked that one away. Tommy Love right there to clean it up. Can't make it go. Ahead for Murphy. Can he handle it a little long? Dave Daly comes up with it over to Adrian. Red players slow getting back. Murphy inside. There's just not enough guys back. Two red players got a little mixed up down the other end. Couldn't get back fast enough. Cuppy with the ball. That was a big chance. They did have it down to 10. They're back to 12. John Green pulls up, knocked away. It's going to be red ball. It's going to be red ball is what the call is. John Green down the lane, running one-hander. He converts. No call. Dave Daly thrown on his back. What was that? Dave Daly, there's a call. Ron Deerstein attempting to dust off the top of the backboard. Comes down on Dave's back.
You got a nice shot in the back of Tom Lowe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dave. Hey, Dave, we need it. Let's go, bro.
Any comment here, Ken?
What's the score? I can't believe my coach's prognostications. I was hoping we could hang on.
Okay, it is 10. And we mentioned this would be about as close as Red could realistically hope to be. Third quarter ends, Jimmy, 74-64. Looks like we may have a ball game. I do think when they came out and started playing a little more aggressively on defense, making White run the ball, whether White got tired or just complacent, there definitely was a change in momentum there.
I think the White team's going to put back out there. They got 12 more minutes to play. They're going to have to really get going, keep the offense moving, and
Well, Cuppy really seemed to take control there for a while, too. Even when Steve wasn't scoring, he was really pushing the ball up court and creating a lot of opportunities for him.
Cuppy and Colson, I'd like to see that power of the Red, not that I'd want to be seeing that.
Not for a minute.
Those guys play real well together, and they can score a bunch in a hurry. Transition buckets.
Well, you know, we talked earlier about guys getting comfortable with each other, and I think that that's a good point. These guys do play a lot together, and a lot like maybe Kenny Adrian and Jim McGinnis make a real good team. They know each other's moves. Even though Chris didn't get a lot of points in that point, I felt he also contributed a great deal. He made a couple of great passes. He did draw some fouls. He got a bucket or two. But more than anything, I think he complimented Cuppy very well, kept the ball moving, and really got Red's offense back in the ball game. Plus, I tell you, their defense must have done a job because they really have held White in check to a great extent. White does not seem to be able to do things offensively as easily as they seem to be able to do them in the first half.
I'm going to take the time out here to go check the book.
Okay. For the fourth quarter, Jim, any statistical surprises that you noted over there in the book?
No real surprises. Company with 10 points that quarter. Really knew the red team.
Well, this sounds usually when you request this, number one is somebody's looking to go man-to-man, and not only that, they don't want to waste any time getting into their defense. Do you expect man-to-man pressure from Redd?
Yeah, I think they have to. They want to force the game. They want to get an up-tempo game so they can get more points in a hurry. Look for some turnovers. They're going to go for it.
And I'll tell you, for the players that Redd has available to them, this is probably the fastest lineup they're going to get out there that looks like a real basketball team where guys are playing in position. Webster and Cuppy at the guards, excuse me. Firestein at center. Long shot by Cuppy. Rebound, B-Love. And I tell you, White had two guys out quick. I think if they had looked for the outlet, they might have had something. Murphy and Carter were both clear on the wings. Murphy down the baseline, reaches back in, no call. McCall with the ball. Murphy still down on the floor. Over to Webster. Cuppy pulls up to Deerstein. Deerstein turnaround, bank shot. Webster with the pressure. Here comes McGinnis bringing it up. Cuppy's on him. Webster on Carter. Screen by Daly. Switch now. Deerstein in there. McCall on Murphy. Backs in. Neil Murphy with a good shot.
Good play by Murphy. Hold on to that. Hard pass.
Webster with the long jump shot. It's short. Dave Daly knocks it out of play. McCall throws it in. McCall to Deerstein. Deerstein to Cuppy up top. Cuppy with the fake. There's the hesitation. He misses. Webster inside. Bobby Webster. Great position. Couldn't be blocked. Mike Carter doing the best he could, but once Bobby had that position, Carter just wasn't going to get around him. Firestein on Love. Daly up top. Daly with the fake. Stein reaches. I think that's going to be before. Dave Daly with the little fake outside. Got Ronnie Deerstein reaching a little too much, and Dave Daly right around him left-handed.
Guys, it's 8 points. Get the rebound.
Steve Beckham exhorting his troops on, mentioning the fact that it is only 8 points, Jim, and we're sadly remiss, or I'm sadly remiss in failing to mention that fact. First time under 10 in a long time. That's 9 now. So Beckham's wrong again. It's no longer 8 points. Dave Daly shooting the second half of 1-1. Short, Firestein rebounds. Donnie protects it ahead to McCall. McCall ahead to Cuppy. Cuppy wants it. Goes, hesitates, shoots. That's Ronnie Deerstein with the tap. Ron Deerstein with the follow tap.
Doing a good job of hitting the board.
7 points. Murphy down the lane, switches hands. Firestein rebounds. D-Love strips it away. We may have a foul. At least it's going to be Redd possession. And it is a foul on Bill Love. They're sending B to the bench again. I got to believe he's in foul trouble. He has played sparingly in the second half, Jim, and they had Moltz out there as soon as he went down. Now, you will remember Don Firestein with a very weak attempt last time from the line. The question is, how much will that be on his mind? Jimmy, you play with Donnie. What is on Donnie's mind, if anything?
Right about now, this is going to try to get some kind of bang for the board or something.
Donnie, with a good touch, but he's the kind of guy that does have some problems from the line. McGinnis with the pull-up, and that's a big shot for White. Very big shot for White. Cuppy with the ball now. 9-point game, 79-70. Bob Webster outside. Stein with the screen. Over to Deerstein, to Cuppy, knocked away. Carter gets it back into Daly. There's no call, Jimmy McGinnis. The fans are certainly upset over that one. Carter over to Murphy. Murphy with the pretty fake. They got McCall, at least with a hand on Neil Murphy's back, trying to influence his direction. Neil with that pump fake from 3-point range. Jay, how to respect it?
Yep. Well, the Red team can't afford to give up any three-pointers right about now.
White White was on the line too soon. So there's a revolting set of circumstances here for White. There's a chance at 2 thrown away to Deerstein. Deerstein with the jumper, doesn't go. Webster with the rebound. Rebound by White. Murphy comes up with it, pushes it ahead, looks for McGinnis. Deerstein with the foul.
Great pass by Neil Murphy, looking up, as soon as he got the ball, looking up, hitting McGinnis with a long pass, like it creates something.
And a great job by Jim McGinnis, because as good a pass as it was, he still had to come down with the ball, almost dead stop, and go right back up. Deerstein on his back. It's a heck of a play by 2 great ball plays.
Here comes the wholesale substitutions for Red team.
And here comes a new lineup for Red. They're sending him in there with Wade.
Blue team.
McGinnis at the line. Boom. And that is the only trouble with fouling, Jimmy. You almost give him the 2 automatic. That's 10 again.
We'll have to pull the stats. This White team shooting very well from the line.
They sure are. And that probably is at least going to be some difference. Colson pulls up but doesn't shoot. John Green doesn't get it off. Has to reload. Cameron bangs inside. And a tough call. Kenny says I was standing still and had my hands up. Rich Cameron goes to the line. Here's another guy that's a master of getting the body in there, and always seems that his chest arrives before the ball does. And here's a guy that, and I'm telling you, this is a style reminiscent of Rick Barry, one of the all-time great free throw shooters. And if he just gets it up on the rim, it seems to always fall through. He's got that soft touch. You see Donnie Firestein over on the bench, intently paying attention to that free throw style. Murphy from the corner, 3-point range. McGinnis is outside and open.
Red team they're in a zone now.
Colson knocks it away. Behind the back move. Tipped away by Green, but controlled by White. Chris gets the foul. A pretty move by Chris Colson.
Might have been a little too much.
A bit flashy, perhaps. Yeah, he might have.
Concentrate a little more, going right to the hoop.
Or even pulling up. They did have a 3-on-2, and he did take it into traffic.
And upset with himself, came back, made a stupid foul.
But this is an all-star game, Ron, so they tend to give everybody that bit of leeway. Neil Murphy from the line, and it's 10 again. Red has been able to get to 10, but this has been a tough one to get substantially under. They were down to 7 at one point. Murphy makes them both. Brooke Greer creating some problems in the backcourt, ahead to Green. Yeah. And they do call walking. John Green says, Steve, how could you do that to me? Ahead to Murphy with the pull-up. Colson can't handle the bound. Back over. Oh, that's a pretty assist by absolutely great pass by Jimmy McGinnis. Took everybody up in the air with him. They got Kenny Moats down alone. And McGinnis right back with a great defensive play. I'm not sure what they were trying to do with that one. It just was a poor judgment on throwing that pass. Yeah. McGinnis with pressure in the backcourt. Ahead to Cameron Handles inside. Tom Love out front. Colson to Green. Green with the fake. Rebound, yeah, rebound by Adrian, ahead to Murphy. White's making hay, Moats on, oh, yeah. And again, a pretty pass, and if you notice, that's a bounce pass, and there's nothing easier to handle than that. Very, very nice. Sure was. Cameron right back.
Cameron would have taken it away.
Yeah, I think we would have too. And I'll tell you, it's not a very good stretch. They've just lost to 6 or 7. I think it was 8 when they substituted there, 5. And Red is now back to 15. Steve Duffy at the line. Steve a little short. And free throw shooting definitely seems to be a factor here, Jim. Miss them both. Rebound by White. There's McGinnis pushing it up quickly. McGinnis fake one way. And John Green with the rebound. He's cut off back to Colson. Colson bringing it up. McGinnis with a little pressure in the backcourt. Chris Colson controls back to John Green. Redd looks a little disorganized on offense. When you say, Jim, 5 guys on one side of the court, nobody here now, and still, there's nobody on this side of the court. Everybody's following the ball. Colson with the pump fake can't make it go. Loose ball on the ground. Cameron comes up with it. Nice pass. That's a pretty pass. John Green just can't make it go. A tough shot. Was not an easy shot, but he just couldn't get it to fall. Stays White. Brooke Greer. And Redd, and the steam also looks like it's gone out of Redd's defense. They're back in that zone. They're just not as chasing as aggressively. Jimmy Mack to the line, I believe. Yeah. And here comes the other 5 back. And I think perhaps that was Coach Beckham's, even though he did give up 4 or 5 points, I think 6 or 7 points in the lead, I think he feels that he's got this 5 that really put the big dent in it out there now, and maybe they're going to make a run.
It's tough though. They pulled back in within 8. Now it's back at 15. Okay, a couple more now.
Yeah. They may just have given up too much there. Only 7:01 to play, 15-point lead. McGinnis misses. You could hear that one. Must have hit the ball. That was that loud smacking noise we heard. Webster pushes it up. Screen by Firestein. Webster to Cuppy. Cuppy back across. Stripped away by Jimmy Mack. Steve Cuppy diving for it.
Wait a minute, you got an injury. Stop the clock. Injury.
We have a...
Let me get down there.
Right in front of our play-by-play booth here. Yeah. Berry to McGinnis. Behind the back to Joe. Left hand doesn't go. David Berry rebounds. Across to Brooke. Brooke in the lane. Up and over.
Nice break through the middle by Brooke.
Brooke, a very alert ball player. Always looking for that spot. Good passer. Ronnie Deerstein with the hook. McGinnis with the foul. And we're going to see another substitution. Okay, Deerstein into line. And Ronnie gets the roll on that one. Makes them both. Okay, here's Redd, full court. Webster on Greer. Greer with the crossover down the lane. Finds McGinnis. McGinnis back to Greer. Blocked by Deerstein. Puppy comes up with the loose ball. Foul on Brooke Greer. Well, I think Stein's best defense seems to be when he's away from the ball. He's free to come across, and he really looks for that, and really makes a difference. Stein with several blocks today, at least 3 that I can count, maybe 4 or 5. Cuppy at the line. And Steve misses the front end of a one-on-one, and boy, does that hurt. Adrian back to Greer, nice passing. Greer with the pull-up, misses. Firestein rebound. Pushes out and looks. He's got McCall down the side.
Right.
Jay with the quickie off the board. And here's pressure. Adrian against Cuppy. Kenny brings it up. Boy, it's great to have a guard that can do that. Man-to-man just doesn't. And isn't it great to have a guard that can do that too? Firestein with a powerful move. And you know, Kenny is the kind of guy that he likes to grab control of the game, especially here. You know, Redd trying to make their run, and he is a gamer. He really is the kind of guy that wants the ball when the showdown comes.
To discuss his free throws.
Webster. Redd with the rebound. Redd with pressure in the backcourt, almost with the steal. Carter with the ball. Adrian. Off the screen. He wanted that. He's on the ground. Rebound McCall. McCall ahead to Cuppy. Oh, and he can't make it go, but Donnie's there. Can't make it go. McGinnis rebounds. Foul called on Jay McCall, I believe, reaching in, trying to steal that ball away from David Berry. Timeout. White. Coach Moore wants to make sure, I guess, his players are ready for the last 5 minutes, Jay. Well, they're pressing man-to-man, or at least they're attempting to as much as they can. Anything else that you can think that they're going to do, or do you think they'll start fouling deliberately? Some trapping, I guess, and then if they do get a break or if they do get a clear opportunity at the basket, fouling then. Okay, Carter's entered the game now, maybe adding a little more speed to the White squad. And you can see by the way the red team is lining up that they're going to play their man no matter what happens. Webster with another rebound. Bob with half a dozen rebounds today, surprisingly. McCall inside. Jump shot, a little long, knocked away. Berry ahead to Adrian. Would it surprise you if he pulled up, huh? Rebound, Firestein.
Ken not happy with that call at all. Look at him. He does. He looks like the Bay leader.
Yeah, that's. I could have been a champion, is what what his trademark is. Oh, Donnie's got the touch now. And I'll tell you, this can make a significant difference right here because I think part of the white team's strategy is going to be fighting off those boards, and the guy that they're most likely to foul is a guy like Donnie. That one's short, controlled by Chuck. That's ahead to Berry. Oh, to Adrian, and you talk about quick hands. You saw how quick he got that one up in the air. Nice pass and a great play. Oh, unbelievable. Cuppy from three-point range, I think. Technical foul on Deerstein.
He was a little over-anxious, jumped across the line, hit the inbound pass.
And they sent Adrian to the line. Last time down, did you have the feeling that Kenny Adrian was going to pull up at that three-point line?
Especially when he started pointing at the invisible man, you knew he was going to pull the trigger.
Well, with Ron Deerstein back, I don't think he wanted to take it to the hoop because, you know, of Stein's blocking ability, and he felt that he had a good opportunity. One thing about missing three-point shots is that quite often, because of the length of the shot, when you do miss, the offensive team has as much chance of getting a rebound as the defensive team. Positioning, oh! Kenny Adrian really pushing for that MVP trophy. Tom Love with the shot. Tommy Love scores. And there's defense, Carter pushing it up. Tommy with the reach-in foul. 13 points now. Redd wanting to make their move. Mike Carter Jr. at the line. Carter misses, Duffy rebounds. Steve Duffy over to Tom Love. Tom Love brings the ball up court. Love to Colson. Colson down the lane. Adrian covering. Foul was before the shot. Colson will go to the line for 1-and-1. I think they've done a very good job. You can always find one that you might have, you know, missed or you might have thought should have gone the other way, but I think they have done an excellent job. Steve Duffy with the long rebound and the miss. But again, though, missing the front half of that 1-and-1. Tom Love with the running jump shot. Redd with everybody underneath. Tommy shoots again. Colson rebounds. And it goes. I don't know if you noticed, though, Jimmy, there were 3 white players outside of all the red players. You had 5 red players inside the free throw line. If White had even tapped the long rebound out, they were going to get a 3-on-0 breakaway.
3 minutes, 40 seconds. 95-84 is the score. Red team coming back in there, but they still just... White still got that cushion, that 10-point cushion.
Yeah, when they ran it up from 8 to 15, I think that really limited the kind of things that the red team could do. They're going to have to keep pressing. They're going to have to keep fouling. They're going to have to hope that they get a turnover or two, and then when they do send somebody to the free throw line, they get a miss once in a while. But they can't keep missing the front end of those 1-and-1s down the other end. If nothing else, it allows White to play aggressive defense and, you know, take a chance on fouling. It doesn't hurt them to send the guy to the line if they feel they're going to be able to get possession back. White now with an inbounds play. This looks like either that or else they're starting a conga line out there. No, it isn't. Tommy Love hits it. And that had to be Steve Duffy slapping that ball down, keeping it alive. Tom Love picking it up. 12 now is the spread. Colson trying to stick with him. Adrian knocked away. John Green. David Berry back. Can't handle it. And they're sending Colson to the line. Chris now not having a good day from the line, but he's really hustling out there, really playing defense, doing a good job. And he is a good free throw shooter. He really is. He's just got to settle down, get his rhythm. There he is. Now that wouldn't look as smooth as you're going to want. Coach Moore going to his bench here. He's sending in the reinforcements. Brooke Greer comes in for Mike Carter. Neil Murphy replaces Dave Daly. Maybe a little quickness, Murphy over Daly, and a little savvy, Greer over Carter. A little age difference there. Colson misses. Duffy with the rebound, and he's fouled. White's going to... I'll tell you, Steve is in the land of the Giants, and he's coming down here. Steve has a bunch of boards today, Jimmy. And he's in there rebounding against guys a lot bigger. But Steve pulling them down. 7-point game. Steve can't drop it. Redd making a run, 7 points, Jim. Duffy at the line with a chance to make it 6. What's White talking about? But BA's idea is once I draft a good ball club, let them go out and play. They know what they're doing. And he does have, I'll tell you, that's a good, intelligent squad. Not that all of these guys aren't intelligent ball players, but all those guys out there have a lot of court savvy. They really do. And what one of them or some of them may lack in quickness, I think they do make up in savvy. I don't think you'll see them doing something silly. And you do see Brooke over there appealing to Wesley for a call, begging, I believe it is. It is a shame to see a grown man on his knees, but... Okay, Steve Duffy on the line now. Red stays with Cameron, Colson, Green. And it doesn't go. Colson rebounds. That makes it a 5-point game. White with the ball. Neil Murphy brings it up. John Green, man-to-man for Red. Tommy Love on Greer. There's the switch. They double over onto Murphy. David Berry gets it blocked by Rich Cameron. Colson ahead, knocked away. Green with the ball. Green pulls up on the baseline, shoots. 3-point ball game. Greer inbounds to Adrian. Colson's on Adrian. Kenny's going to bring it up. Everybody else gets out of his way. To Berry inside. Looks to me like they may try and post up Dave Berry on Steve Duffy.
Dave, a little bit bigger. Duffy's going to have a hard time.
And one of the good things is David having a good day from the free throw line. You feel like if you send them to the line, even for a one-on-one, you got a real good opportunity to score. What I like though, did you notice how White cleverly or not so cleverly just got out of Kenny Adrian's way and let him bring the ball up?
Yeah, clear it out. Let him. Nobody's going to take it from him and not foul him.
That's right. They're going to have to foul him.
Or double up, and he'll hit the open net.
That's right. And that's what's great about getting spreading them out like that. To really eliminate the possibility of that double team. If they try and run it at you, you can see it coming, and Kenny can take the right action.
All these free throws get bigger and bigger. It's a 4-point game.
They sure do. Red, luckily, last time, naturally, after missing, Chris Colson able to get the rebound and convert for the 2. So Red having a tough time at the line, and White looking real good. Misses. Maltz in there. And boy, that's a big one. Kenny Maltz, great hustle. Gets that offensive board. Rich Cameron pulls it out. Colson, that's 3. He's long. David Berry with the ball to Adrian. And now a little switch. Cuffey's got Adrian. Right past Green. Oh, blocked by Colson. Cameron running the break. 3-on-3, knocked away by Greer. Knocked away by Green. Kept it by Cuffey. Unbelievable series. The officials are trying to sort that one out. Bodies all over the floor. Woo! Talk about intensity. And Red sends in the bruises. McCall, Deerstein, Firestein. They're going to start again. 2:15, 6-point game. White with the ball. Well, I'll tell you, Red did look good out there. Green really played well. Colson played well. They made a strong run. Rich Cameron with a big job. Steve Duffy. Everybody out there hustling. Murphy with the ball. McCall on it. Back. Good hands by Jay McCall. Just knocked out of bounds. Kenny trying to get Murphy the ball in low. Not necessarily a good idea because McCall was right with him. Trapped in the corner. Bob Webster with the call. Not a bad foul. They didn't want to let him waste a lot of time, and I think if Brook had gotten the ball back outside, Jim, they would have run 15 seconds off the clock.
I tell you, with this game going this way, the foul shots is going to make or break it.
Okay, you don't want to foul Murphy. You don't want to foul Adrian. You don't want to foul Berry. Only 2 guys left out there, and that's Kenny and Brook, and both of these guys can be very good free throw shooters. Kenny perhaps a little streakier than Brook, but both very good free throw shooters. White does not have a bad free throw shooter nowadays. And that's off. Rebound Firestein, big rebound. Here comes Cuffey. You know where he's going. McCall with the jumper. Bang, can it. And then maybe that's a break for Red. Gives them a chance to set up their defense. Red wants to slow this game down, stop it at every opportunity. They're going to press him in the backcourt. That's what they don't want, though. Here's the double team on Adrian. He gets by. Firestein with the reach.
Calling it official, calling that an intentional foul.
Well, that's a surprising call. A player with a reputation for being as delicate and as sensitive as Don Firestein out there.
Especially in this league.
Especially in this league.
No blood, no intentional foul.
Absolutely.
It's in the rule book.
Well,
there's no justice.
The officials are making them. Fortunately, our courtside camera was able to get an instant reaction from Don Firestein.
You know, the one
Don,
thing I really like
sweat
about
on the lens and make it really realistic, will you?
The thing I like about Neil Murphy is he looks great in his skirt this year.
Neil naturally, really one of the problems that Neil ran into after we began playing this league is that his insurance premiums almost doubled. White loses the ball out of play.
He tried to get around it by
7, a chance for 5. Ahead to McCall. McCall hot out there, made his last shot. It's on the ground. Greer with the ball. It's going to be, here's a possession, and this is one of the first jump balls we've had. Stays White, or it goes to White. Murphy with the ball. McCall playing him, nose to nose everywhere. White moving the ball, moving the ball, moving the ball. Cuppy jumps over. There's the double team switch. 2 on Murphy. McCall gets a hand on it. Play ahead to Stein. Takes Berry in. Ronnie Deerstein misses the layup, but he's going to go to the line for 2. He sure was, and a good play by Stein. Good play by David Berry also, but maybe should have got a little more ball if he was going to foul him. He should have got some ball anyway. I don't think Red's taking too many timeouts. They probably have at least 3 left, Jim, would you say? Ooh, and this is just killing them. These are nails in the coffin as far as Red's concerned. They have to get the ball in the hole. Okay, Stein makes that one. Brooke Greer inbounds, ahead to Murphy. Neil Murphy down the right sideline, right in front of us here. McCall on him, switches hands, goes down. McCall with the hand. Kenny with the nice pass from Murphy. Ken Moltz taking it up strong. Both Cameron and McCall converge on him. Make sure he doesn't get a 3-play opportunity. Moltz will go to the line for 2. As we mentioned earlier, Kenny a real good streak shooter from the line. When he gets his rhythm going, he's almost automatic. But he has had some problems this year. Two-handed style, a la Richie Guerin, I believe.
The Bill Sharman two-handed push.
This is true. Neither one. Stein gets the rebound. Big opportunity. 6 could be 4 to Love. They're looking for the 3-point. Stein from 3-point range. It's long. Rebound Adrian after Moltz taps it away.
The only problem with going for 3-pointers, sometimes it takes a little too much out of your offense.
It sure does. Nice give and go. Murphy clobbered to the floor by Councilman Love, and I think Councilman Love might have lost at least 1 vote on that one, and if Neil's wife is registered, at least 2. But that's men's league ball, ladies and gentlemen. And Neil calmly bangs one home, makes him pay, makes him pay.
It's not always pretty, but usually takes you a couple days to forget about it.
Ooh, second one bounces out. Here's Redd with a chance. Tom Love ahead, switches hands from 3-point range, short, and Pooley thrown up. Not a good choice of shots. I think Tom's the kind of guy that has to really be set for that 3-point opportunity. When he is, his statistics really improve dramatically.
Now, if they'd have gone for 2 both these last times and converted, they would.
Well, I'll tell you what has really worked well for White, though. They've run that give and go twice now, using Neil Murphy, once on one end, once on the other end, and both times they've wound up with a layup attempt at least, although they have been fouled in the attempt.
If you have good passers, that's the best way. That's the greatest way to beat the double team.
Exactly. Yeah, they get that back order, they get the players overplaying just a little bit. And that one's low. John Green way up in the air. Being ridden out by Brooke Greer, yeah. Brooke got the body on him a little early, and I don't think that was a real good play by Brooke. He didn't want to... I think what Brooke was afraid that if John got him down too low, though, John was just going to go up and over him, and he was going to have a tough opportunity. But still, that may well be. That may well be. Okay, 6 with 27 seconds. Redd, though, has not really used their timeouts. I'm wondering what they're conserving them for, or perhaps they have fewer than we thought. John Green with both of them. And there's a timeout. Although, no, it isn't either. That's an official timeout. Steal by Colson, pass to Green. Unbelievable inside. And there's the timeout. A 3-point game, 24 seconds, and they do have time. They do have time, and there's Chris Colson with great defense. Oh, yes. Chris really coming to the fore. Very nice play, playing like a veteran on that one. I tell you though, Jim, this could be, well, naturally you can always have your what-ifs and could-have-beens, whatever, but boy, better free throw shooting from Redd early in the game, and White would really be up against it now. But then again, White has not been as consistent from the line recently as they were early. They are having some problems. Where is B-Love? Where is Jim McGinnis? Any idea? Has age caught up with these fading stars finally, or?
I don't know, at this point, I would have to guess to help handle the ball. I think he's the best foul shooter in the league. He's got 90% of the time.
Excellent point. And also, Jimmy has the ability to dribble the ball and defend his dribble. He's one of the guys that can keep his shoulder down. You just really can't get around him. He's not the best dribbler in the league by any means, but he's one of those guys that I just don't think you can take the ball away from him without fouling him. Plus, he's a heady kind of, you know, the kind of guy that wants the ball in his hands. He's not nervous out there. But it's hard to fault Brooke Greer and Kenny Adrian as your guards. I mean, and naturally, Murphy and Berry, good free throw shooters, so they foul right away, and that's the right move. I'm sure that was Coach Beckham's instructions. Okay, Adrian at the line. Kenny drops the first one. 103.99. Kenny makes them both, and that's the penalty of sending a guy like Kenny Adrian to the line. You know, I don't know if Redd can really settle for two after giving up two the other end. And they foul Kenny. Now, that's one that they probably did want to. First one in and out. Rebound, John Green. Now you wonder, does Redd want to go for three? Webster does. It's short. Cameron up and over, gets the rebound. Back out. Almost into our production. I had my jacket half off. I was ready to crank one up from three-point range, Jimmy.
It is one.
To Adrian. Steve Cuppy right there. And he makes the first one. That's 3 in a row for Kenny over the last couple of seconds. And I think this one's probably ready for the history book, Jim.
Yeah, I think it's a fair guess there.
Well, you never want to light that victory cigar too soon, but this one looks about right. John Green, a three at the buzzer. And you wonder why Coach Beckham waited so long to use that strategy. Okay, 106-102 to final. We're going to be back in just a second with an MVP as the players congratulate each other.